from the Punch newspaper. Smuggled Nigerian petrol floods West African markets, sells 1,700 naira per litre. Other headlines: Reps propose rotational presidency, 6-year single term. Concerns rise over teaching as over 9 million fail UTME in 7 years. 2.7 billion naira fraud, ex-director testifies against Sirika. NOS summons NFF over Eagles' poor display. I respect Oyebanji but won't betray PDP, Fayoshi. Minimum wage, Labour insists on 250,000 naira, awaits Tinubu's verdict. 13-year-old takes own life after torture in Kaduna. NNPC defies inflating petrol subsidy claims by 3.3 trillion naira. Federal government services debt with $2.2 billion in 5 months, says CBN. RCCG City of David undergoing audit as Iluyomade's replacement resumes. Those are all the stories from Punch newspaper.
All right, from the Punch, let's move on to the Vanguard. The big headline reads, 10th NASS, 24 senators have no bill in 1 year. Access Bank completes acquisition of Bank ABC Tanzania. Naira down to 1,490 naira to a dollar in parallel market. Plane carrying Malawi's VP missing. Bandits kill 4 policemen, 22 others in Katsina community. No plan to revoke Wema, Polaris, Unity, Fidelity licenses, CBN. NGX introduces USSD to enhance capital market participation. Banks borrowing from CBN fall 10.6% to 10.9 trillion naira. National anthems, purpose and practice. American democracy's Trump test by Dakuku Peterside. Trump's pre-sentencing interview begins as convicted ex-American president face prison threat. Those are the headlines on the Vanguard this morning.
From the Vanguard, we move over to the Nation. The big headline here in the Nation says Southwest governors go into massive food production. Falike blames media office for hasty publication on wife's birthday. Rivers G27 lawmakers remain PDP members. Court rules. Nigeria conducive for business, Edun tells multinationals. Alleged 423 billion naira fraud. EFCC raises team to probe El Rufai and others. Alright, these are the headlines in the Nation this morning. And these are the headlines you can take right now on City Press. Do also read upon it so you can be informed while we now get to that point where we'll be taking a look at some of the details of the headlines read to you earlier. It is City Press.
Analysis of the major stories rocking the dailies.
We as parties cannot be challenged.
The news behind the news.
They are not being disruptive.
They
are not being disruptive.
And a sit down with your favorite pundit.
How can you hold Indomine? This is intolerable. It's provocative.
This is City Press.
I've seen people abuse power, use power, misusing and lose power.
City Press with the breakfast in the city crew and our guest today. Right now.
This is City Press on City 1051. Let's take a look at the major stories right now. But before we start, welcome, Mr. Bioni Jomi. Thank you for joining us again today.
Good morning.
Always a pleasure to have you here. So we're looking at 2 major stories that caught our attention, and we're hoping that at some point we will get to discuss that. But let's look at this one. Smuggled Nigerian petrol floods West African market and sells for 1,700 naira per litre. The federal government on Monday raised the alarm over the renewed smuggling of premium of fuel petrol following the massive hike in the pump price of the commodity in neighboring countries. It stated that while the average price of petrol in Nigeria was about 701 naira per litre, the average cost of the product in neighboring countries was 1,787 naira per litre, a development that heightened petrol smuggling out of Nigeria in the past 2 weeks. The Comptroller General of the Nigerian Customs Service, Adewale Adeniyi, who disclosed this at a press conference in Yola, said the NCS, which is Customs Service, had to join forces with the Office of the National Security Advisor to tackle the menace. He said, "Today we are here to update members of the public on the strategic efforts of the Nigeria Customs Service in addressing the critical issue of fuel smuggling through the recently launched Operation Whirlwind under the auspices of the Office of the National Security Advisor." Mr. Biodun, show me fuel smuggling at this point in the country. When this conversation on smuggling happens, and I know that a lot of countries are going through the same challenges of porous borders and whatnot, but how is it that customs has always been there and this fuel is still being smuggled, and a lot of things are being smuggled in, not just smuggled out?
Well, it's baffling also. What seems very clear is that there must be collusion, whether we like to accept it or not. Tankers, 45,000 liters of tankers cannot be going out of Nigeria unnoticed.
Absolutely.
When this tanker cannot go through thick bush, they have to go through the land because of the weight. So it's quite clear that there must be some unscrupulous elements within the hardworking Nigerian Customs Service, who are sabotaging the nation. Particularly if you take account of the remarkable feat achieved, over the subsidy removal, which immediately led to reduction in daily consumption from 67 million liters to about 30 million liters a day. And you're talking about 67 million liters is 1,888 liters of 45,000 liters per tank. So if you're talking about 1,888 tankers a day, and then there's a reduction that came down to 666 tankers a day. So you then ask yourself, where would half of those 1,888 liters, if not a third of it, going through? They must be going through some borders. So it's quite obvious that there was a kind of connivance or collusion with customs officers, but that should not tarnish the entire customs command, because they also have very gallant and brilliant officers working within that system. You saw the video the other time of a custom officer trying to stop a tanker from being moved out of the country, and there was an attempt to deal with him by the customs leadership at that point in time. Now, when you look at the trade is very lucrative. No matter how you look at it, you are talking about times 3, times 4,
can I read out the figures?
Yes.
In Benin Republic, it sells for as high as 1,672 naira per litre. In Cameroon, it sells for 2,061 naira in Cameroon. And in Liberia, it's 1,427 per litre. In Mali, it's 2,128 naira per litre. In so total, the average is about 1,700 naira per litre.
So we're talking about 2.5, to 4 times the price in Nigeria. So it will always remain lucrative. The error made in the past by customs service was to alienate the neighboring communities, border towns and villages, by simply closing down all the petrol stations in those communities. So that created huge incentive, for those who are smuggling petrol to now appear as if they are saving the people. We are the ones providing fuel for you. So it then led to a disincentive for communities to cooperate with the customs officers. They then see the custom as being antagonistic to their interest, simply because they are not allowed to have petrol stations. I mean, you are talking about 30 minutes to the border. So many communities were alienated. Now, the good thing is we now have a new customs command leadership who seems to have realized the error made in the past, and then are now saying we're not going to stop local communities from having petrol station. It just have to be controlled and monitored, and that's the message coming out from the Customs Command. The second issue is that we need to now see there seems to be a different approach now. Maybe Customs was collecting the data before, we don't know, but at least we now know they collect the data and they are interpreting it, so they've been able to establish the pattern of smuggling and then set up a structure to deal with this. This is good news. The idea that tankers should be accompanied by DSS officials to their destination, for me is not attractive. That is not why they're employed. We should be looking at the borders, looking at the customs to do their job, and then fish out the bad eggs within the custom. So I think this should not be a basis for the federal government to further increase the cost of PMS in Nigeria, since currently the cost of PMS is being recovered even through importation on the basis of the 701 price on average in Nigeria. So that should not be a basis, because that would be a form of collective punishment for Nigerians. Things are already hard, and we don't want it to get harder. And when you now look at the value of the currencies in neighboring countries, in Ghana, then in Francophone countries, CFA, they are stronger than the currency in Nigeria. Yes. So they have a better purchasing power compared to us, even though we have a better incentive, to export to them. But smuggling is creating a major problem for us. That should be the problem of customs and not the problems of Nigerians.
Okay, thank you very much for that. I do have another interesting story from Punch, and it's about reps and proposing rotation of presidency, but let's see if any other paper carried it today.
Okay. So this one is on the Vanguard. It says 10th NAS, 24 senators have no bill in 1 year. And it reads, Abuja, almost 1 year after they were inaugurated, no fewer than 24 of the 109 senators drawn from all parts of the country are yet to sponsor any bill in the upper chamber of the National Assembly. However, each of the other 85 senators has at least one bill to his or her name. It's a really long read because, they went on to explain ex-governors in the Senate, ex-governors yet to sponsor bills, no-show lawmakers, and the likes. But Mr. Biola, show me, what is really going on in the Senate? Why are they not sponsoring these bills?
My own and simple answer is they are busy with appropriation for local constituencies. By the time you get the legislators to focus on executive functions, they will have little time for their core functions of making legislations and carrying out oversight on what the executives are doing with the budget allocated. You have a situation where there are so many legislators or senators being elected without making any concrete promises on legislation to the people. They tend to focus more on, I will produce this, I will produce that, I will provide tarred roads. You see senators, and House of Reps members getting involved in turning roads, even in Lagos, and then you begin to ask yourself, what about your core functions? So there seems to be a kind of disorientation. They've been reorientated towards executive functions rather than their own proper legislative functions, and which I think is sad for our development, is bad for oversight, and is also bad for accountability. Many Nigerians are not bothered about what bills or legislative bills the senators or House of Rep members are engaging. What they are bothered about is, as it help us to tie our communities and all that. They seems not to have a knowledge or a better knowledge that is not their core functions. Their function is to carry out legislative oversight and make laws. So we have lost it somewhere. So we need to go back to basics and reorientate our people, including the senators. When you have many of the former governors, becoming senators, they're just in the mold of mind that, look, what I would what would I point out as community or constituency projects to the people that elected me? That's their state of mind, whereas that is not their function at all. They have no business with it. Theirs is to make laws and carry out legislative oversight. So we need a kind of collective reorientation.
Yeah, I agree. And but is there nobody to checkmate them, to put them in the right direction? Somebody to say, you know what, this is what you're supposed to be focused on, and not this. Are there no body or groups or?
Yeah.
Shouldn't that be their communities?
Well,
the constituencies now.
Yeah.
Well,
Those they
think
represent.
it should be the constituency.
Okay.
But when you have the constituencies also engaging the senators on what they call constituency projects, so that it can get to them. It's difficult. They're not in a position to tell them, and I think it's also part of the weakness, of the civil society movement in Nigeria. The civil society organizations really need to engage, the communities, and also engage the senators, and raise this vital issue. You cannot be getting involved in executive functions, and if need be, challenge it through the courts, because it is bad for our democracy. If the legislators are now appropriating projects, they are the ones executing them. They will make themselves vulnerable, to executive blackmail one way or the other. They will not be able to carry out their functions of oversight, appropriately. The way they do it, they don't give it to them directly. They get them to nominate a contractor, who will get the job done. You and I know what's behind that. So, and the moment you get your hands soiled, you find it difficult to challenge the executive. So it's a system that's been going on in Nigeria, which we need to change.
I think isn't it time that people are educated, especially those in constituencies, are educated on the power they have to perhaps know exactly what to do if they're not satisfied with what their lawmakers are doing.
Well,
because I think a lot of people just focus on the president and maybe the governors now. Most people forget that senators representing their constituency are also as important.
Oh yes. When you look at stage of development, we tend to focus more on the governors because they are closer. Also focus on the presidency because of the size of the budget they wield, and they could influence development in different parts of the country. You are talking of 52.68% of the national budget, of the federal allocation. Now we tend to ignore the local communities. Go and look at most of the constituency projects which are being implemented today. They are ideally local government roads. They are ideally roads belonging to local government. They are not trunk A or trunk B road. Trunk A are federal roads, trunk B states road. So, and that is the weakness. One, they are shorter, they are smaller, and then the local government doesn't need to bother about what they're doing. It's not just necessarily the fault of the local government alone. We also know that most of their resources have been appropriated, by the state government for in some cases for good reasons, because we all know what happened when local governments were in charge of paying salaries for teachers and health workers, sanitation workers and all that. They didn't get paid for months, in some cases for some years. And that was how this issue of state governments, encroaching into their functions and seizing their budgets, getting them to voluntarily agree to surrender, it happened. At least the teachers are being paid. But that is not good for our democracy. I'm not justifying it in any form. But the fact of the matter is, it has also created an opportunity, for senators or House of Rep members, to engage in carrying out the functions of the local government on Trunk C Road, and that is what we see going on currently. The local government of executives are very, very happy about that. They don't have to do anything. We know that they are largely unaccountable, and therefore we need to get the senators to back off and ensure that the right things are done. The federal government is on the right path by taking the state governors to court, on local government. I fully think that is the right course of action. But we need to get our senators to be reorientated back to their core functions of legislative bill making and also carrying out oversight functions of the executive.
All right.
Thank you.
Now that you mentioned the governors, let's go to talk. Let's talk about governors from the southwest now, as they've agreed to go into massive food production. Southwest governors go into massive food production. Now, details on that. A move to boost food production has been ignited in the southwest. The objective is to cut the price of food items, which remain high in the country, despite ongoing efforts to bring down inflation. Governors in the 6 southwest states yesterday gave a marching order to the commissioners of agriculture to begin the process that will lead to food security in the geopolitical zone. They said, and I quote, "On food security, the forum acknowledges the effort of the federal government and decides that honorable commissioners for agriculture of all the states should begin to meet and set up a working template which will ensure collaboration based on each state's comparative advantage." The governors made this known yesterday after a meeting hosted by Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. This is an awesome idea. I mean, we talked about this yesterday when we said Nigeria. When you move around Nigeria, you realize that we have lots of land.
Fallow land.
Yeah, arable lands that can be put to use. But then again, there's still that problem staring us in the face, and I think I'm more interested in that, which is insecurity. This is a good step, by the way, but I'd love to know what the Southwest governors are also doing when it comes to insecurity, because it's no longer news that farmers, have challenges in cultivating crops in Nigeria.
Yes, we cannot deny the issue of security. It has created massive problem in the Middle Belt and some southern states. We have heard of people being kidnapped and farmers being killed. Even in remote states like Ekiti in the southwest and in Ondo, we've heard about all that. We've heard about even soldiers being killed in Edo and all that. So we have a problem with security. But that notwithstanding, the vast majority of Nigerian farmers are farming currently. They defy the security risk and they still go to farms. And to be fair, it's not all the major farming communities that we have this problem. In some of them, you don't even see the problem at all. But the solution is not just about security. While government is working on that, we also need to look at the state governors, particularly in reference to Southwest, need to go back to the template of the 60s when we had confederal arrangement where help are provided for farmers. Currently, what we see largely in the Southwest is subsistence farming, not commercial farming, and that is what has been keeping the economy going. So we need to now change that. And one of the major impediments is access to land. If you want to engage in commercial farming, land is very expensive in the Southwest. So what then do you do about it? We should not forget that part of this problem it's due to the activity of successive government. I can tell you that the vast majority of Agege used to be agricultural lands. Where they call county estates today used to be Michel Farm. The place we call Ogba and Penn Cinema Police Station, all those vast land where we have medium housing estates used to be dairy farm. And then from Nitel towards Okoba, Bulegba used to be farms, agricultural lands, producing dairy meat and food crops. But we've sold them all over the years, successive governments, and turned them into housing. So now the challenge is, where do you get the land? Theoretically, if you are to go by the decree, the 1978 decree on land ownership, you will say the state government owns the land. But in theory, in practice, that is not real, because you have communities which cannot be evicted and they have their lands where they are doing their farming. What I think the government needs to do is to focus more, on aiding farmers. One, they need to come up with a bill, in different houses of assembly in Southwest, on land lying fallow. Any land not cultivated in the last 10 years, should be listed for leasing, at a very cheap rate, because currently nobody's getting any value from it. And if they do this and then provide tractors to clear them, to clear a thick forest, you and I know how much it will cost. So the tractors in each local government, we've done this before in the 60s and 70s, so why can't we go back to it? If farmers get the necessary support, you'll be shocked the number of young unemployed graduates who are roaming the streets, who are happy to have a shelter in what they call farm settlement, and then carry out, planting things and rearing, poultry products or beef, for consumption, because they will not get the true value of whatever they put in. And except we do that, I cannot see how the governors on their own will now start planting. Planting what? Excuse me.
Sorry.
You need cooperation with the private sector, and there are so many of them, so they need to think about access to land first, solve that problem through a bill, to appropriate lands lying fallow, not with a view to seize them, because that will again create another problem. It's with a view to lease them, so that unemployed people, can be grouped into cooperatives and get them to work in those farms producing crops and meat, for our local consumption. The other thing they also need to do is, again, change the orientation of our people, and I will tell you why. When you see grains or maize currently, we are roasting them on the street or boiling them for sale.
Roasting.
Without realizing that
that's your preferred one.
In some cases, 80% of what goes into children's meal, what they call the formula, the meal,
the
cereals, golden morn, cornflakes and all that, they are mainly from maize. From maize. Then not only that, what goes into 60% of feeds for poultry products, whether you call it turkey or broilers, again is maize. So when you eat and you roast them and you consume them, we end up importing grains. It's not that we're not producing enough, it's what we are doing with what we are even producing locally is the problem. So when you get to the market and you see that the price of chicken is double or times 3, look, we are all somehow responsible one way or the other also. So we need to look at how to reorientate our people, which I think is the business of National Orientation Agency, to move away from some habits, consumption habits, and, so that we can free these products, for our own development, for our own needs, and then eventually we'll benefit from low cost. So these are some of the things which I think we need to do, and government must, as a duty, take on that. If we don't take on it, you keep producing maize and we keep roasting them, boiling them, eating them, you will keep having the cost of feeds going up, year on basis.
Wow.
Yeah, like nobody should tamper with my corn.
I was just gonna say that would be hard though for people to not. I mean, we can't eat maize again.
I'm sorry. I would rather live than the chicken.
You can, but still quantity.
It's just the quantity. Don't forget, you need protein. Otherwise, you won't have a balanced diet. Look, go to the school meals program, which is being carried out currently. The cheapest source of protein happens to be chicken.
That is
and
true.
That's what they give the kids. If we don't reorient, it's not going to change overnight. But the more people realize the importance of maize in whatever we do, they use it for more than 8 different functions. And the more, even they use it in pharmaceutical industry, for medicine. So the more people realize that, they probably would begin to change habit. It will not happen overnight, but we need to start the task, of reorientating our people to change their consumption habit now.
Okay. So we are going to open the phone lines. I was really hoping we had time to just touch up a bit on this bill that broke yesterday. The news broke yesterday. But if you guys can just give me, it's 7:30, so just give me a minute, Lagos, okay? I'll just read this so you have knowledge on it. A bill seeking a single term of 6 years for the president and state governors was brought up on Monday by 35 members of the House of Representatives. The bill also canvasses the rotation of the presidency among the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. And so Ugochinyere, who is the leader of, the speaker for the 35 members proposing the bill, this is what they are saying. On governance, we are proposing a constitutional alteration to provide for the rotation of executive powers among the 6 geopolitical zones to ensure equal representation and reduce the desperation and tempo of agitation for the creation of states. We are proposing to amend Section 3 of the Constitution to provide for the recognition of the division of Nigeria into 6 geopolitical zones, and also to amend the Constitution to provide for a single tenure of 6 years for the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the state governors. This will bring about a reduction in government spending and wastage, promote efficiency in governance and national stability by providing a single term of 6 years for the president and the governors. We don't really have time to go into further discussion because I would really have loved to get your take on that, but hopefully we'll do that tomorrow. Okay, so let's get to the phone lines. Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Welcome to City Press.
Good morning, Madam Sazi.
Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Chuete.
Good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. Bedeshow.
Good morning, sir.
Happy anniversary to the City FM.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is Pastor Ladigo, calling from Orilegum.
Okay, please go ahead.
Now, so from the time immemorial, we have been eating language, and it has not reduced the importation or affect maize or whatever. You see, the problem I discovered is this. It's a bad workman that quarrels with his tools. When people who are managing the economy, when they are not capable, when they don't have capacity to manage the economy, they come up with all kinds of excuses. Mr. Abiodun, you will agree with me that from the time immemorial, when there is a season for corn, maize, people have been eating language, they have been eating roasted corn. And in fact, during the season is when things like rice even goes down. And things like, because it's a substitute. When we have bad people that manage the economy, they will come and give us all kinds of excuses. I bet may God save this nation.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your contribution. Right on time. 0700 1051 1051. That's the number to make your contribution. To call, that's the number to call us. And you can send us a message on WhatsApp 0909 916 4403. And if you're live streaming on YouTube or Facebook, feel free to drop a message.
Hello, good morning. All right, the call number is 0700 1051 1051.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, CFM.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, sir.
My name is Babajo from Asheshi. How old is CFM now?
We're 14, going on 15.
Wow, I could remember when the station started, when we all came into the station, even Mr. Abiodun too was also part of the food that started that station. I know when it started from another station, moved down there, and many other callers are calling and talking on the same thing that we had today. We God guide the CFM and all longer years in business.
Amen.
Of the economic development of Nigeria. My contribution this morning is Mr. Abiodun has spoken very well. I think we still need to raise the conversation of true federalism. That's the pain of donatives around Nigeria. Without true federalism, Nigeria cannot go anywhere. We need all citizens, we need to begin to raise that conversation. Everywhere we go, we need to discuss this thing so that we get to the ears of those that need to do this change. Not systems, 1 time or 6 years, 10 or won't do anything. That's not the solution for this country. We need true federalism to put everything in its proper perspective for this country to move forward. And that's the only way forward for this country. Thank you.
Thank you for your contribution.
Okay, we'll be taking more of your calls and messages after this. It's still City Press. Stay here.
Don't miss any second of the fun.
Listen online at city1051fm.com and on TuneIn.
Here you go, dear.
Mom, you didn't add milk.
No need to. Taste it and see why.
Wow, but how?
Is it milky?
Very.
Is it creamy?
Yes.
That's Milo 3-in-1 milky and creamy for you. It's so milky. I don't need to add more milk.
I love it, Mommy.
Give your kids the new Milo 3-in-1. Milky and creamy. It's truly milky. It contains calcium to help your champ win every day. Milo, energy to go further. Milo.
I wanna be as strong as Captain Amazing. I'm with amazing, real, that is what I'll be. I've got strong bones, sharp eyes. I'm an amazing angel, that's right.
Nurture them for the future.
Lagos City! Do you know Sarah by Wema? Yes, that community for women who want better. They're inviting you to the shopping experience of a lifetime, the Wema Naija Brand Chic Trade Fair. The Wema Naija Brand Chic Trade Fair. You can shop anything and everything at the best rates and win amazing prizes all in one place when you visit the Wema Bank booth at the fair. Wema Bank will have their booth at the fair where you can shop for any and everything. Yes, any and everything. And win a prize. But that's not all. Wema Bank is giving you an opportunity to access exclusive Sarah healthcare plans and business loans at the fair. That means you're not just shopping at the best rates. We also have your healthcare and business loans plans covered, all thanks to Sarah by Wema. Yes, you heard right. Come win cash prizes, access business loans, healthcare benefits, and shop for the best products. When is it happening? It's happening on the 14th, 15th, and 16th of this June 2024. And the time is 9 a.m. 9 a.m. Remember, the early bird catches the worm, so be on time. The venue is Whitestone Event Place, Ikeja. Time 9 a.m. on the 14th, 15th, and 16th of June 2024. And remember, entry is free. I can't wait to see you there. This is brought to you by Sarah by Wema, and it's the Wema Naija Brand Chic Trade Fair. Sarah by Wema, for women who want better.
Woke up this morning, a brand new day. Feeling is different, though you are ahead of your game. Fill up with energy, strength and vitality. Get ready to conquer, cause Bonvita is there with you.
Give your child Bonvita. It contains essential vitamins and minerals that support mental and physical vitality. Bonvita. Prepare them to win every day.
Hey, it's your girl, Nurma, and Nurma is a musician. I should have said presenter first. Let me take that again. Hey, it's your girl, Nurma. Nurma is a presenter and a podcaster.
The voice of love. My name is O'Daniels for short. OAP at the radio station in Lagos.
Koyisola Olukoya, producer and red carpet host.
Ken Code, I'm an honor personality.
My name is Rume, compare and a creative.
I participated in the City Media Academy.
One of the best decisions I've made. Immersive classes led by seasoned industry professionals.
It made me happy and absolutely.
It was a launchpad for my dreams.
It cured my stage right.
It doesn't just cater to radio. So if you're looking to further your career in the media.
Yeah, hey, you know what? Come on down.
Next session starts July 8, 2024. Visit plot 11 Latif Jakande Road, Agidingbi, Ikeja. Call 0810-968-8638 or www.city1051fm.com. Click on the CMA page for more. The City Media Academy. Explore the world of broadcast media.
Battle of the Playlist.
Next Wednesday.
I go by the name Tage with the Wave, and I got hits that are too cold to hold, too hot to handle.
The name is Tife, and I'm coming with the old school jams that you definitely do not remember, but you would love it.
Face off between Tage and Tife. Tune in on Breakfast in the City from 9 to 10 a.m.
Unorthodox Radio. Nobody does it better. City FM. Beat the rush hour traffic. No more holdups on your daily commute. City Traffic Track with Lattice.
Alright, the City Traffic Track letting you know how to navigate your way around the city of Lagos right now. Fadi to Ajah through Eko Bridge is congested. Estimated travel time is 2 hours. And CMS to Ajah is also congested. Estimated travel time is 2 hours as well. Ajah to Adeniji through Lekki Tollgate is also congested. Estimated travel time is 1 hour 40 minutes. VI to Ajah through Tollgate is congested as well. Estimated travel time is 1 hour 14 minutes. Over to Allen through Tollgate has a little bit of traffic. Estimated travel time is 17 minutes. And Maryland to Oworu through Ogudu has got a little bit of traffic as well. Estimated travel time is 23 minutes. Oroto Jodu through Tollgate is free right now. Estimated travel time is 14 minutes. Oroto Jodu through Agidingbe is also free. Estimated travel time is 23 minutes. Oroto Shudioke through Antoni is free as well. Estimated travel time is 9 minutes. Oroto Shudisale through Ilukpeju is also free. Estimated travel time is 6 minutes. Oroto Alausa via Tollgate is also free. Estimated travel time is 13 minutes. And Oroto Alausa through Maryland is also free. Estimated travel time is 20 minutes. That's all the traffic track we can take for now. There'll be more in the next hour. Please drive carefully.
Beat the rush hour traffic. No more holdups on your daily commute. City Traffic Track with Lattice. Why get angry and hungry in traffic when you can switch on your radio and have the perfect start to your day? Have a balanced dose of freshly squeezed news, analysis that gets you thinking. How about some chopped entertainment gist? An entanglement? Yes. A glass of sports news. And that conversation you've been longing to have. It's breakfast in the city on your number one lifestyle station, City 1051, weekdays 6 to 11 a.m. Now that you know what we're all about, can we please take your order? Analysis of the major stories rocking the dailies.
We as parties cannot be challenged.
The news behind the news.
They are not being disruptive.
They are not disruptive.
They are not being disruptive.
Abandon me out.
And a sit down with your favorite pundit.
How can you hurt Indomie? This is intolerable. It's provocative.
This is City Press.
I've seen people abuse power, use power, misusing and lose power.
City Press with the Breakfast in the City crew and our guest today. Right now.
All right, welcome back. It's still City Press. We're taking your call 0700 1051 1051. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
This is Okangolina in Masaboku.
All right, go ahead.
Sanzi,
Yes, please.
people are talking of the state reps are proposing 6-year tenure.
Yes. Single tenure.
Single tenure.
Yes.
I beg. Can they make it 4 years? 4 years should be enough. Anybody that wants to rule well can rule and can loot. Even within that 4 years, can loot the amount of money you want to loot and will be comfortable. 4 years is okay. Are you hearing me?
We're
4
listening,
years
sir.
is just okay for anybody. Look at. So this is only 1 year. Look at where we are now. So you think Nigeria will endure another 6 years? I beg. 4 years should not just be enough. They should amend the constitution to read 4 years only. If you start 4 years, you go your way. Bye bye.
You're right. Thank you. Is 4 years really realistic? Because so far we've been functioning on 4 years, and it's as though people are so power hungry that 4 years is not enough, and I don't see it being enough in the future.
It has its own advantage and disadvantage. People aspire after 4 years, you want to go back again, so there's incentive to perform in the first 4 years. What they call legacy projects. Whereas if it's a single 6 years term, once you've been elected,
you're in.
that's it.
But what have we really seen some significant changes even in the first tenure?
It depends on how you are looking at it. Someone else will tell you Lagos Calabar Coastal Road is only possible because
it's the first time.
Yeah, and whereas the single 6 year term, we've been there before. We've discussed all these issues before. The major advantage, in my view, is the fact that it will allow all different zones in the country to be able to provide the leadership at a point or the other. And
so we know
without suspicion and the agitation for.
So we know where the next president is coming.
Yeah, you already know. So it's between people that.
All right, hello. Okay, please turn down the volume of your radio set, please.
I think it's where he is.
Oh, okay. So please go ahead.
Thank you, my dear. My name is Prince Y. Calling you on my way to the West Island.
Okay.
Good morning. I'm very happy with what I heard from my South governor that they want to go to farming, and that is it. I've been saying this. Once they connect to farming, this part of the country, the land is there, green land is there. You have the land. And have to remember what about what of Sarah. I'm definitely in that way there. So we must do this for us. The Canadian family is now. We must take over to the land. We can do what we can eat. That's just what food from the north to the southwest. From another country to Nigeria. Just like the land. Only what you have to do now is push in the Canadian family. And that's the key.
All right, thank you.
Good morning.
All right, number to call. Can we take some calls?
Oh, yeah, we can.
Okay, all right. Number to call is 0700-1051-1051. Please begin to send your messages on X at City1051 and on WhatsApp as well, 0909-916-4403.
Hello? Hello?
Good morning, Sanzi. Good morning, gentlemen. How are you guys doing?
Very well, thank you. Good morning. Welcome.
Jonathan is my name.
Thank you, Jonathan. Please go ahead.
Mr. Show, you can see that the governors in the southwest, they have started putting on that thinking cap. Yesterday, what did I say that our comparative advantage is agreed? You can see. Yesterday, I priced tomatoes, 4 balls of tomatoes is 1,000 naira. Having said that, let me go to the smuggling of the things. Mr. Show me again. If we are selling for 600 naira in this place, and they are selling for 1,007 in that place, what do you think this country should be doing? The talking point that I'm talk this point is not the talking point. I think it's the country that is complaining that they don't have money. Mr. Show me, I have a question for you. How many liters are we exporting to those countries? Can you help me check? That a thinking country that you have been covering that his refinery to work, know that he has an advantage of exporting to other countries, and he cannot do it. How is smuggler not do it for them? And this is the same country, both president, both governor, they are complaining that they don't have money. I hope you can see now that we have leadership that I don't know whether they are confused or they are just wicked. They don't know what to do. Enjoy your money, Sanjo. Let me tell you, I show me very well. Enjoy your money.
Thank you. You too.
You need to get your refineries to work before you can start exporting to those countries. If you import fuel into your country for your own people's consumption, there is no reason why you should re-export to neighboring countries.
All right, let's move on to X now and see what we have.
Let's start with Facebook first. Let's attend to our people streaming us. Sixta says, good morning, everyone in the studio. Greetings from this site. And he goes on to say, God help us in this administration. Many things need to be restructured appropriately. Dr. Mrs. Olibar from Ower says, this is the time for reforms because the clamor for it soars higher each passing day. Okay, give me a minute. The clamor for it goes higher each passing day. Economic reform ought to be a human-faced package to better the lot of the living, where it translates to starving, impoverishing, and traumatizing the masses to death. Then it is for the deaf and not the living. Who then will reform this land? Only reform-minded and reform-involved persons can reform a Nigeria which majority of its citizens are yelling for. I'm sure if I got that. Sir Jane says, I remember the Assistant General Secretary to speaking on my show that the just suspended strike will resume if federal government doesn't meet a reasonable minimum wage, which I don't see as a good idea, understanding that no matter the percent used in increasing the minimum wage, it will still have its effect on inflation rate and our naira value. So I suggest the Labour Congress focuses more on increasing our naira value, thereby increasing the purchasing power index. Good morning, Sir James from Allen. Uduak Utong says, 10-year bill, what does this have to do with this present times? Happy anniversary, City FM. All right, thank you for sending your messages through our streams on Facebook and YouTube. Moving on to X now. Good morning to you guys in the studio. What difference does it make? Naira depreciates or appreciates? The prices of goods in the market keep soaring. That's Jeremiah Oluwole. Michael Ojua says oil smuggling is a conspiracy of the powerful to make money out of the nation on subsidy removal. Our porous borders are deliberate to make smuggling easy. It makes sense for our fuel stations to open branches in these countries, hence making good profits. He goes on to say politicians are tricky. 35 rep members' proposal isn't comprehensive. It is mere power sharing arrangement. We need true federalism through restructuring. The presidency should be made less attractive by giving more responsibilities to other federating units. Okambulina says, it's funny how people selling electronics at Oshodi are agitating for mechanized farming. Where is their experience coming from? That's all the messages we have from X. On to WhatsApp now.
All right, on WhatsApp, where it says, it's unfortunate that Nigeria is in this dilemma. But I can tell you for free that our political leaders knows the way and manner to go about solving the problems in the country, especially that of food inflation. If the needful is done, which are solving the problem of insecurity that will allow farmers to go to farm and stop cows from invading and eating the farm produce on the land, I am sure it will go a long way rather than increasing the minimum wages of workers, which will drastically increase the cost of food items in the market again. God bless Nigeria. Timothy Onatoye from Ijagemo community sending that message.
All right, Dominic from Igurudu says it is inappropriate to compare the cost of fuel in Nigeria with those in some African countries. How many of those countries produce oil? Nigerians' oil prices should not be up to half the price Nigerians are paying. Fuel prices in the country are high because Nigerian government refused to build new or repair existing refineries. These unnecessary comparisons with other countries are misleading.
All right, Jeremiah from Alakuko says, good morning to you guys in the studio. Labour should quietly accept federal government's offer and hide their faces in shame and let us rest. They don't know what they're doing. You announced indefinite strike, then later suspended it without any agreement with federal government. Is it all your members that will come and sit in the meeting? Why not go into negotiation while the strike continues until you reach agreement? I think what Labour is doing, they've submitted 250 and they're yet to hear from Mr. President. The committee have sent in their proposal to Mr. President and we are waiting for President Tinubu to give his final verdict.
Yeah, as I said, they're waiting for his nod.
And right now, quite frankly, given the fact that Nigerians are already aware that if we go on strike, the national grid is also going to go off. At this point, nobody's really looking forward to that. I have soup in my freezer, please.
But then again, I think for some things to happen, some sacrifices might have to be made.
Some soups need to spoil.
I'm sorry, but that's the truth. It's just what it is.
All right, this one says, good day, guys. I'm Abiona Temi from Ottawa. Very soon, Southwest governors will start massive air production because there's nothing they can't produce. Just a reminder that they should cultivate cassava and agbado massively too. Hope all the field. Okay, so that'll be the end for me for that message because I can't continue.
All right, so let me read this one from Emmanuel from Shomolu, who says, single, 2 or 3rd term isn't our problem in this country. Why can't these people come up with a bill that will favor the masses?
Emeka says the Gabonese have a higher minimum wage than Nigerians because the Gabonese economy is more productive than the Nigerian economy in per capita terms. If we do not wake this economy up, the cry for higher minimum wage will fall on deaf ears. And a final message from Mike from Ibutemeta says, I do wonder, during President Jonathan's regime, a bag of foreign rice was 7,500 and a bag of local rice was way cheaper because people neglected it. Now, a bag of foreign rice has gone up close to 100,000 naira because of closed borders and exchange rate. My pain here is, why is local rice chasing after the price of foreign when it is locally produced? It's not all about farming but controlling the price of commodity. Locally produced rice is produced in Nigeria and still we can't afford it. That would be the last message we will take, sadly.
Because of our time.
Yes, please.
All right, thank you for your calls and messages. Thank you, Mr. Biona Shomi, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, coming up next is Sports City.
And honestly, Super Eagles are not making Nigerians smile right now. They had an abysmal game yesterday.
Nigerians not making Nigerians. Listen, cut them a slack, please.
Cut them a slack?
Sanzi,
yes, please.
Sanzi, it is Benin Republic. we're talking about here.
Benin Republic,
we supply
their
them
economy is even more stable than ours right now.
Yes, but we supply them stuff.
Are we not playing like our economy? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Like, how do you?
Well, a man is influenced by his environment. Not so.
Were we not in a bad economy when we got to the finals of the AFCON?
Which guy in bad economy? Luck happens.
No,
that was luck.
Actually, that was not luck. That was having a good manager as well, and the players playing
Super
well.
Eagles, I am proud of you guys.
Proud of what?
You did great. Listen, the fact that you showed up, you did great. You need to do better
the hope
tomorrow.
not the dim.
All hope is not lost.
The hope not the dim like this. It's so terrible. It's annoying.
Okay, so we're going to make way for Nome and Mike and Damiloju for
that game.
City.
That game made every Nigerian do.
Like,
that's why we're playing this song.
Our woes.
Take the pressure off of them.
It's David or Chris Brown.
I don't know, no. Make them they turn up. They don't see me coming. Are you ready for me? Energy like cream, they like cream. When I know I see me enter, then I go bring you to end my dog. Show you want to see mental. I don't give them back to sender. Why no? Soldier, policeman, many men in my convoy. The boy know they take his out. He knows they go give you up. And as the money don't they come like us. Nothing will be stop this sauce. When I know I see me enter, they don't go agree you to enter. Hello. Say you want to see mental. I don't give them back to sender. Why not? When I know I see me enter, then I go bring you to enter my love. Say you want to see mental. I don't give them back to sender. Why not? Facebook under the employ. She wanna get freaky, make your boyfriend no good, baby. Tell me what you want from me. You ask for somebody, she said you're tryna get out the street. You ask for somebody, soldier, policeman, many men in my camera. Yeah, boy, you know they take it so. In the zone, they gon' give you up. And if the money done, they come like curse. Nothing we can stop this soul.
For the right dosage of sports, hang with the most reliable crew. Get the info, stats, scores, and unpopular opinions on Sports City.
Sports City.
More and more, it's looking like the possibility of Nigeria not being at the 2026 FIFA World Cup will be a reality after 4 qualifying games, 3 points, no single victory, and the worst of all performances came around yesterday when, against former Super Eagles manager Kenneth Roth's Benin Republic, the Super Eagles took the lead but went away with 0 points after conceding 2 goals late in the first half. What are your thoughts on the situation of the Super Eagles regarding our potential World Cup qualification? You can be a part of the conversation this morning on Sports City. Let me first say that if you go to YouTube and Facebook this morning and you see gloomy faces, you should understand the Super Eagles have put Nigeria in a very, very tricky position. But we're doing our jobs. I don't know whether I can say the same thing about the Super Eagles attackers. Oluwadamiloju is my name, and then there are interesting people in the studio right here with me this morning.
Michael is the name. Good to be here this Tuesday morning. It is what it is. We will take them as it be, because I believe sometimes if we want to start change, the first thing we can do now to embrace the situation as it is, and then begin to find ways to move forward. For the Super Eagles, disappointing performance once again, worse than the one that we saw in Uyo a couple of days back when they took on South Africa. But then again, it begs the question, can Finidi George actually lead this team to the promised land of the FIFA World Cup in 2026? I doubt. Michael, once again, my name.
Still on the Super Eagles, who are we to judge? We can't find, reasons to the players or the coach. We don't know. We just have to hope for the best and hope that they make it to the 2026 World Cup. My name is Jennifer Otterson.
09099164. Sorry. Too fast. 0909-916-4403. That is the number on WhatsApp if you want to reach us this morning and share your thoughts regarding the Super Eagles. Jennifer already teased something. If you are going to apportion blame, who will you be blaming? We have the voice of Finidi George on the show, and he kind of suggested maybe there's a mentality problem. You'll be listening to that much later on in the show. You can also let us know whether you think it is a good time to change the Super Eagles coach, because our next World Cup qualifiers come up in 2025. So maybe there's a bit of time for us to see if we can steady the ship. And of course, does he deserve more time? So many questions to answer this morning. But let's quickly give you information happening from the world of tennis.
Across different sports around the globe, it's Global Sports Scene on Sports City.
Michael, I know you know, let me hear what became official yesterday. The first Italian man ever to be number one in the ranking. Just gloats, get it out of the way. Let's move on.
Damn logical, yeah, what? Because if the Super Eagles win yesterday, it is what it is. Congratulations to the gentleman. Finally, he has made it happen, and that's what you get for being very consistent in what you do. So for Yannick Sinner, despite not winning the French Open, making it a second Grand Slam in the year, Moku not forget he won the Australian Open. He did so in fantastic fashion. So congratulations to the gentleman. Reward for hard work is the fact that he has become number one, the first Italian to do so.
Carlos Alcaraz is world number 2. Novak Djokovic has dropped to world number 3. Let's continue the theme of celebrating Italians, and for a woman who now has a new career ranking, she's in the top 10.
Well, yes, making it her first, time getting into the top 10 in the world female ranking. So she did get into that top 10 position after beating Bianca Andreescu, Elena Rybakina, and Andreeva, having been ranked number 71 last April. So this makes it her top 10 debut this week, jumping from 15th position to 7th place.
Congratulations to Jasmine Paolini. If we ask on Beat the Buzzer, you exactly know what her new ranking is. She is number 7. Super Eagles discussion takes major stage, and remember that you can let us know what you think. 0909-916-4403. But before that, there's update on what happened in the Oriental Derby between Rangers and Eimba.
Are you addicted? We are glad. Here's some more.
City 1051 FM.
Yes, sir. Energy go jam energy for field. As men for Europe ready to scatter net. Big race go recharge your Go TV on top Jolly, Max, Super or Super Plus. Make you for touchlight all the whole 51 match for the Babanla ball for Europe. Only for Super Sport with inside your Go TV. If also they carry you come up for house, you not lose at all. As you still feel watch all the match on top your phone with Go TV stream. Euro 2024 live. Now Go TV they bring them. Go TV. Love it.
Woke up this morning, a brand new day. The feeling is different, though you are ahead of your game. Fill up with energy, strength and vitality. Get ready to conquer, cause Bonvita is there with you.
Give your child Bonvita. It contains essential vitamins and minerals that support mental and physical vitality. Bonvita. Prepare them to win every day.
Up next, local flavor.
Toby Amazon, look at the clock. I cannot believe it.
Giving you the breaking sports stories from Nigeria and Africa.
Local flavor.
That is a massive world record.
807 is still Sports City on City 105.1 in Radamilojo, Michael and Jennifer. But the most important part of this conversation is you listening, and you will have your time to air your views about what happened yesterday. Let me just put this out there that please, when you send your message or when you call, because we'll be throwing the phone lines open shortly, please keep your language radio friendly. I know how Michael was after the game yesterday. I know the look that was on his face, and I know how irritated I was. Where I watched the game with some family members, and my mother was just distraught that yesterday. But please keep your language radio friendly. We'll get to Super Eagles in 1 minute, but let's talk about the Oriental Derby. We were so excited about the crowd that we saw, but eventually events towards the latter stage of the game were not anything to write home about. And the information we're getting is that the league body have responded to what happened in that game.
Definitely. The league body, through its chief operating officer in Davidson Owomi, has sent a jurisdiction notice to Eyimba of Aba for all that happened at the debacle. As far as I'm concerned, very shambolic, disgraceful scenes that we saw in that game involving Rangers. An opportunity for us to market our league. Sweet to they do. About 10 million naira fine in total slammed on Eyimba. I'll just quickly read through everything. A fine, number one, a fine of 1 million naira for failing to ensure the proper conduct of the team, and number two, a fine of 5 million naira for disrupting a live broadcast. A fine, number three, a fine of 1 million naira for throwing of objects onto the field of play. Number four, a fine of 1 million naira for encroachment onto the field of play. Okay, I'll keep it going. Number five, an order for fitting 3 points and 3 goals in favor of the opponents, which is Rangers South. That takes Rangers 3 more points above Eyimba, making 4 points, clearly 5 points I should say. Then number 6, a fine of 2 million naira for causing the disruption and discontinuation of the match with seconds to go. And finally, an order for Eyimba to identify and produce for further investigation and appropriate sanctions other players and officials complicit in the disruptive conduct. Wow.
Interesting. So I think go on, Jennifer.
What I'm saying also is that Rangers did sell tickets to spectators exceeding the stadium capacity, which is why would we be seeing stuff like this in the MPFL?
We talked about pictures that we saw, and then there were certain fans that had to stay in one iron barricade that was dedicated to where the cameras are supposed to stay. So we know that we had an overflow in the stadium. I think the most important thing here is the fact that these sanctions have come with the points going to Rangers and being stripped of Eyimba. We've always said it that when you have situations like this, the punishments that will hit the clubs the hardest are the ones where they get to forfeit points, because now it means that Rangers are 5 points clear of Eyimba. Rangers are on 64 points. Eyimba and Remo Stars are on 59. Rangers has a goal difference of +9 ahead of Eyimba. The league is not done yet, but this is a huge spring in the step of the Flying Antelopes. So at least Rangers, the Antelopes, they are flying. For the Eagles, that wasn't exactly the situation.
Eagles, their wings are broken.
In case you did not see the game that happened yesterday, maybe you are better off for it. This is what happened.
Chukwueze making a bit of space for himself, puts it on his right foot. There's the ball, it's been pulled back. Anybody there? Oh, what a shot, what a goal! That is absolutely pure class from Onyedika. Good chance, great opportunity. How about that as your goal? Bennett have just split open the defence, and well, he's got a bit of an injury, it looks like Jodel Dosu, but how about that? He scores the equaliser. That was fantastic. Well, just look at this. That was the touch there coming from Calvin. A reckless attempt to clear the ball, and you can see that Jodel Dosu races onto it. Wonderful. Opens up his right foot into the corner to beat Nwabali.
How did we have a situation where we played a match against Benin Republic, not in Port Novo, not in Cotonou? We went to Abidjan. So technically, it was a neutral venue for them. They didn't even have home advantage. We took the lead, Michael, and some way, somehow, we've allowed Genetro have the bragging rights.
Well, that's because as far as I'm
What is
concerned,
going on?
certain players just didn't come to the party. Kudos to Benjamin Tamino. If he hadn't, if he couldn't spot the move made by Samuel Chukwueze, I don't think he would have scored at all in the game. But he was able to spot that move
breaking pass
made by Samuel Chukwueze, and he laid the pass to Chukwueze. Chukwueze was able to square past the ball to Onyedika, who was able to tuck that ball in quite nicely. And I felt okay at that point. Just calm down and then hit them also as quickly as possible, because sometimes the best time to score another goal is just after you've scored a goal. But unfortunately, the Super Eagles sat deep. When the man came in, looked at the team, when the man shake and said, no, this team doesn't like team, we go score another goal. Although the man like Prophet of Doom yesterday, but everything he called was spot on. It came to pass. They sat deep and invited pressure upon them. Calvin Bassey had an opportunity to clear that ball, but it was reckless. He just wasn't really committed to it, and he lost the ball, and the gentleman just ran towards the goalkeeper and beat Stanley Wabali. I don't know, they've been making Stanley Wabali look so bad. He's one of the best goalkeepers we had at the AFCON, and a discovery for the Super Eagles. Not a good one, and not long after that one, a corner kick. Shortly before halftime, a corner kick.
Will you blame Stanley Wabali for how he was a bit tentative with that corner?
Defensively, we were just not there. Okay, maybe you might want to blame him for not setting up the defense, because I always believe in having two defenders, standing by the upright. But unfortunately, nothing of such happened. None of those Benin Republic players were marked. The player just found himself free, and all he could do was just tuck the ball in. And I felt, okay, what happened against South Africa would happen in the second half, where we came out all guns blazing. Nothing like that. Within the first 10 minutes of the second half, I told our colleagues downstairs, I said, this game we don't lose them. And that's what happened.
Jennifer, before I get your thoughts this morning, I want you listening to hear what Finidi George said before the game, when it was put to him that, Gennett Raw has managed some of these boys before, and what to expect, because there have been some section of fans who have said maybe we underrated Benin Republic a little bit, and I think that is the question Jennifer will be answering in a minute.
That doesn't change anything. If he knows the players or doesn't know the players, is with Benin Republic, the players that we had before, they are still around. That means we should be fearful. If he knows the players so well, when he has coached them, you should know that a bunch of good players that we have in the national team.
This is what Finidi just thought before the game against Benin Republic. And after you watched the 90 minutes yesterday, do you think there's any credence to the fact that maybe the Super Eagles underrated Benin Republic?
Yes, they probably did underrate Benin Republic, but on their own path, I don't think they were prepared to go into the game. I don't think they were prepared to go into the game and win. When you feel like you're playing a smaller side, or you're playing a country that is not, when it comes to football, they're not up there, they're not on your level, and then you go into the game like you're going to train, or you're going to play at the back of your house or something. So I think, I keep on saying it, the Super Eagles were underprepared, and I don't think amongst them there's a certain level of connectivity or understanding amongst the players. We saw them in the AFCON. In the AFCON, it looked like everybody knew what they were doing, like they were all in sync. But yesterday, the game was a disaster. Defensive blunders, wrong passes, and so many other things. So yes, they did underrate Benin Republic, and that's one of the things that caused the downfall.
Let's hear from Finidi George after the game yesterday against Benin Republic, because Nigerians themselves are not happy.
It's to win, but there's no special formula for that. We have to see how the players will start the new season and see how we can get the best out of the players. So everybody must be committed. I think with that commitment, we will win games. I believe we're going to win games, and if we can win games, the battle will still be there. So we can't throw in the towel because we've had only 3 points. We have to find a way to get these players back in a way for them to perform.
He has talked about commitment, and I've seen so many messages on social media where people are saying Finidi out. There's a message on WhatsApp here that the first thing I saw is Finidi out. Michael has said he will blame some of the players. I look at that equalizer that Benin had, and genuinely that's on Calvin Bassey.
Yeah,
that is definitely on Calvin Bassey. The second goal that we considered as well, I think we could have done better defensively. Whether that's due to the coach's setup or individual lack of concentration, I can leave both of you to debate. But if we're looking at the game yesterday, who should shoulder major responsibility? Is it the coach or the players? Who are you putting more blame on?
I want to believe the coach George Finidi should shoulder at least 75% of the blame, as far as I'm
concerned. Because I think we all agree
because
that both sides need to be blamed for yesterday's loss.
Definitely, no doubt about that one. I'll blame the coach more because there's no excuse whatsoever. You can't have such caliber of players and then put up such shambolic display. There are coaches around in the world who are looking at our players, who study the performances of our players in Europe and even within the country, and trust me, they'll be like, oh my God, if I have this opportunity of handling this side, what wonders would I create with it. But then it's on George Finidi. He probably lacks the tactical ability to bring the best out of the team, and that showed in the game against Benin Republic. I don't think the game against Benin Republic had anything to do with we underestimating them. We were just not up to par. It's as simple as that.
What's the percentage split?
Percentage split, it should be 80% on the coach, on Finidi George, and 20% on players, because you don't have that caliber of players. I mean, in that squad, you have players that won trophies this season, and then
shouldn't that be more reason why you should put some more percentage on the players? Because we agree that these players are good players. So even if let's assume that the coach's setup is not
in a row, he has not started Boniface. You've not given Boniface a chance to even show himself.
I can't even defend
you didn't
on that
start
one.
him against South Africa, against Benin Republic. You still didn't think that it is wise to start Boniface. You still keep him on the bench, and then you bring him in the second half to come and do what exactly?
Okay, so one of the players that started the Boniface one, I think we had a discussion on Late Edition yesterday, and someone suggested the fact that fitness issue. I'm not going to really be Infinity just corner about not playing Boniface, but we've talked about having quality players. Even when the setup, let's look at club football, for example. On numerous occasions this season, Manchester United have been bailed out by individual brilliance of some of their players. We agree that every time has not been amazing. The same happened with Chelsea and Mauricio Pochettino. So I'm not going to say that one side is only to be blamed, but I think the players need a lot more blame than you guys are portioning this morning, because it's not Finidi George that told Kevin Bassey to go to sleep. Exactly, that's the truth. It's not Finidi George that told players to be picking the wrong passes yesterday. It's not Finidi George that told players to be making the wrong passes.
There's something about the setup tactically that actually led to.
I am not.
Players won't do it. I am not arguing that.
But maybe that yesterday's game, or maybe 60% to Finidi George and 40% of the players, because they themselves did not cover themselves in light. Michael, let's go to the phone lines. I know you have a lot to say. City 1051. This is Sport City. You're welcome.
Damiloju, are you the one speaking there?
Yes, I'm the one speaking. It's Oluwa Damiloju.
I totally disagree with you.
All right, go ahead, please. Share your thoughts with me.
To carry the chunk of the blame, and we should even extend it beyond the coach. We should go to the FA should carry some blame too, and we should go beyond that. Our former nationals, like of Kanu and Mokashi, all of them. You remember when they were doing that interview? All of them were very vocal. They don't employ foreign coach. They employ foreign coach. You remember? They have now employed their own, and we have now seen, we have started seeing results. So let's not try. And let me say something. Everywhere yesterday we are saying we have 6 more matches. It's better we start this man now. True. And better we start shouting aloud now, so that maybe we can still qualify. It's better we start him now.
All right. Thank you so much for your thoughts. 0700-1051-1051 is the number in which you can call this morning to share your thoughts with us, or 020-1344-6555. Sport City on City 1051. What's your name?
This is the special in the studio.
Yeah, good morning to you.
Yeah, morning. It's like the shoes too big for Ogbeni Finidi. See, when you are too, you feel like there is thing that happens to we human beings. You feel like I'm always happy this thing, happy draw. So I said I'm feeling that way, that maybe Finidi looked at the job and feel like he's capable of it. Though levels the supply of this coach is too big for him.
All right, thank you so much. Please ensure that we'll be taking as many calls as we can, short and simple, because there's so much to talk about. Before we go to the WhatsApp messages, is it time to part with the coach? Because like I said earlier, our next World Cup qualifiers are in 2025. do we think we need to make a change, or there are 18 more points to fight for? Maybe you should give the coach it.
After the first two draws before the AFCON, 24 more points to fight for against South Africa. 21 points to fight for. After yesterday's loss, 18 points to fight for. My brother, cut him loose ASAP.
No, there's nothing to. What are you leaving him for?
Let's go to the phone lines. No vex. City 1051. This is Sport City. Hello. Good morning.
Hello, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, Michael. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Jennifer. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. So
you didn't tell us your name though.
Sorry. Okay.
Yep.
My name is Stanquist.
Stanquist, good to have you. Quickly, please. Let's hear your thoughts.
Okay. So I'll just make it quick.
Yeah.
I would say this is 100% on the player. It has nothing to do with the coach. There are some things. Yeah, there are some things you can go into without having a coach. And
play for the flag.
100%. Now we are talking of guys that are professionals, that are playing in top clubs in wherever they are. You don't need a coach to direct you on what to do. The coach, all he just needs to do is just to have a selection. Regardless of who he selects, all the players one-on-one, versus the Benin Republic player. We are still better than them. So where are we talking about the coach? Why are we blaming the coach?
Thank you so much, Stanquist.
Completely the players.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your thoughts, Michael. Let's go through what's happening on WhatsApp.
Yeah, definitely. Onyeka from Ogba goes on to say, Finidi out. Please sack him and get another coach to handle the remaining 6 matches. Okay. Paul Olainka Paul from Malakoko says, I beg, play Shana like this. We got the day. So no back-to-back World Cup for Nigeria for the first time. I will be experiencing this. That message once again from Paul Olakuko. Kudos goes on to say, Sport City is the qualifying round is single leg or home and away.
Still have 6 more matches.
Says, good morning, guys and lady. Like I said earlier, the players invited reminded me when Super Eagles lost at home to South Africa, and it happened yesterday. We got what we deserve. Okay. And Toby from Bamako says, make Super Eagles get us. Jennifer is looking pink this morning. Interestingly. Diego Adeshola says, good morning to you all in the studio. I believe Josh Finidi has no experience of the job of being the Super Eagles coach. No idea, no tactics. He goes on to say it's the fault of the NFF. Amunike has experience and better than Finidi. George Mob.
070010511051 is still the number. Sport City on City 1051.
Good morning, Sport City.
Good morning to you.
I'm calling from Again.
It's good to have you on the show. Quickly, please.
Alright, so quick one. If you ask me, before you actually coach his fault,
okay.
So we played 2 different matches, 2 friendlies, and then one competitive match. And we're getting the same pattern of results. It's a clear that actually information the coach is not working for the team. And he cannot tell me the players do not want to play for the coach. That's not the reason why. He knows that his practice is right. The Super is bigger than that of Kennedy. He didn't coach any other team. He just went to the Super Eagles. He didn't even take him through that route. He just went to the Super Eagles. It's actually a disrespect to field. If you ask me, it's time to cut him loose. Let us move forward before we get into the other matches.
Thank you so much for your thoughts. It's still Sports City on City 1051. There's information also from other teams who are looking to qualify for major tournaments. I'm still taking more of your messages.
Keep your eyes peeled. Keep your ears to the ground. Follow us at City 1051.
Yes, sir. Energy go jam energy for field. As men for Europe ready to scatter net. Big race go recharge your Go TV on top Jolly, Max, Super or Super Plus. Make you for torchlight all the whole 51 match for the Babanla ball for Europe. Only for Super Sport where they inside your Go TV. If also they carry you come up for house, you not lose at all. As you still feel watch all the match on top your phone with Go TV stream. Euro 2024 live. Now Go TV they bring them. Go TV. Love it.
Keep your eyes peeled. Keep your ears to the ground. Follow us at City 1051.
Some call it football.
What a he did it again.
Others call it soccer. Whichever way, it's all about the brown leather game on World Soccer Sim.
8:26 final stretch of Sport City. Let's just inform you that unfortunately Frankie de Jong will not be at the Euros because he has suffered an injury, and Ronald Koeman has said he won't be fit in 3 weeks to be part of the Euro squad. Ian Matson could potentially be be called up. Remember, you can only call up players that were in the provisional list to replace injured players. Milik will also not be at the Euros. For the Netherlands, 4-0, they were able to win yesterday against Iceland. The same Iceland we beat England. This life, no balance at all. We also have, I think, Turkey were able to
they lost 2-1 to Poland.
Scored a fantastic goal for Turkey yesterday.
Yeah,
and today we get to see Portugal.
And there was an injury scare for Robert Lewandowski.
Cope Miners is also in that. We also get to see Portugal come up against Ireland today. Michael, let's go back to the phone lines. This person wants to talk about Super Eagles. I know. City 1051, you're welcome to Sports City.
Hi, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
This is Tunde from Ikeja.
It's good to have you, Tunde. Quickly, let's hear you.
I don't understand what are saying the players. Yes, the players should take the but the majority of the game should go to the coach. I don't. Michael is the story here. Michael, remember in 1992 World Cup, the final Brazil against Spain. That was the number 2 that made 2 errors in pulling out, and the coach substituted it immediately, and that was how Africa came into the team and went up to become a great player. If you stop your team tactically, if they are not giving you what you want, change the player and let them come. It's what you need. But if you put the player and there is no tactics, there is nothing, then the coach should take the blame. He's not good.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your thoughts.
It was the 1994 World Cup. Cafu had to come on for Jorginho when Brazil beat Italy in the final.
Okay, let's check out more messages on WhatsApp this morning. I can see Joel from Badagry saying, is it now time for Finidi George? Is it now time for Finidi to judge his performance? We never knew what we had until we lost it. That's the case of Raw and Pesero. Okay, good morning, guys. Jeremiah says, for me, NFF should let Finidi George continue his job at Enyimba. And who to blame? I think I will blame the manager, because why doesn't he keep putting Boniface? Okay, good morning, gentlemen. Today from Ikeja says he's totally gutted at the team's performance, especially the technical crew. With the crop of players we have in this country, we should be going past everyone with ease. Aisha Tilola says, Finidi George, I don't care about tactics, I don't care about formation, I just want to win. To win now, na wahala. Really? All right, Adekule from Eripo says, Coach Finidi needs to go back to his assistant George Finidi needs to go back as assistant, because in the first place he didn't deserve to be head coach of the team. He came last of all coaches that were interviewed. Wow. Here we go again. Read one from Igodo writing, Nigeria slapping every blame on Finidi. Our players like the basics, for God's sake. What on earth is with this caliber of players mean when the players can't do a simple 5-yard pass? Wow. Fred says, good morning, guys. Wild animals go gather, koala self go come out. Better countries go gather, go World Cup. Nigeria self won the come out. He got that big. Michael, let's check out more messages.
More messages. Tallest goes on to say Pochettino is better than Finidi. The players are playing complete rubbish. Okay, he goes on to say, okay, fine from Ikoton says, by now Finidi should have resigned. He was never most Nigerians' choice anyway. And then, okay, SND2 says, Damloji, your question is funny. Where does the buck stop? A Nigeria system is designed not to actually be fantastic. He doesn't say, I don't think Finidi should have been hired in the first place. Okay, interesting one.
Many thanks for all the messages. We see the ton of them. They're coming in the battalions. Charles Chidozie Maiwa from Ikpaja. Thank you so much. Your messages, Michael Olatopsy, that we can take everything at City 1051 is the handle. Follow across board, but do not forget that Breakfast in the City continues with Chiwete Onyema. It's Sanzi and Tage.
Sports City, the home of sports banter.